Hi, Southbridge. This is Max Gullickson, and this is Southbridge Community Television here on Elm Street in beautiful Town Hall, in beautiful and historic Southbridge. And if you live in Southbridge and you're like me, you've seen around town the SCM Elderbuses driving to and fro. And if you've ever wondered what that was all about, today in the studio I have Timothy O'Day, who's the Executive Director of SCM Elderbus. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Max, how are you?
Good. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for being here. Always enjoy talking about the company, get a little free publicity.
That's really cool. What, in 2 sentences or less, what is a SCM Elderbus?
It's very simple. We're a transportation company. We are a private nonprofit, a 501c3, and our main objective in life is to transport seniors and disabled throughout the area. We cover 21 communities, primarily west and south of Worcester. It's a fairly large area. Just to give you some example, the city of Worcester is about 38 square miles in area. We cover 550 square miles. Southbridge is the largest town that we service, but some of the towns we service have populations of maybe 11 or 1,200 people, so very small towns.
You're covering a broad geographic area, basically.
We absolutely are. Most of the towns that we cover, unlike Southbridge, do not have any access to public transportation. So we're kind of the only game in town.
Little niche.
Little niche, yep.
Who can use SCM Elderbus? What do you have to do to be qualified to use this service?
It's actually very simple. Anybody 60 years of age and older can utilize our service. Anybody with any type of disability can utilize our service. All we ask is that if it's not obvious that we have a health care provider saying that they should be able to utilize our service.
I see.
And then they can just call, make a reservation, and away we go.
It's not based on income or anything like that.
Not at all. Age and
must keep it simple, right?
It does, and it's even simpler right now to utilize the service. It's very simple. You just call our office. We do ask that you call the day before your scheduled trip.
So if and handicap regardless of age, so I mean that sort of leaves the obvious that you have, like if somebody's in a wheelchair, you must have a way to deal with that.
We do. We have 21 vehicles in total. All of our vehicles are wheelchair accessible. We have lifts on the vans. We have one large, basically an SUV with a ramp system. So anybody, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, if you have to utilize the ramp to get on the vehicle, you can utilize the ramp. As I said, we have 21 vehicles, and they're all wheelchair accessible.
Once they're on board, they're safe?
They are. Everybody, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, you have to wear a seatbelt. That is mandated. And all of our drivers, let me just say something about the drivers, which I am very proud of our entire workforce, but all of the drivers undergo a background check before they're hired. All of our drivers are subject to random drug and alcohol testing, as it's mandated. And they undergo continuous training. We have to undergo basic safety training every 2 years, as well as CPR and basic first aid training. So they're well qualified workforce.
It's not just driving.
It's not just driving.
I mean, the physical well-being of these people on the way to where they're going and coming.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate with some of our more senior clients. Sometimes we're the only contact with the outside world that they have. So they love to talk to our customer service reps. They love to talk to our drivers.
Oh, wow. So the service goes a little beyond a ride sometimes.
It absolutely does. As I said, it's actually, personally, it's a very rewarding service. It's a necessary service, and there's no limitation on why people utilize the service. A lot of people think of us as just a medical transportation provider. That's only about a third of our business. It's grocery shopping, general business.
Oh, interesting. If somebody needs a ride to Big Money or Stop and Shop or whatever.
No problem. We take people to the post office, to the bank. We even take people pre-COVID times if they want to go out to the local coffee shop for a cup of coffee. We'd do that.
All the activities of daily living, then you can. Is it expensive?
I'll talk about pre-pandemic and then post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, it's actually very, very inexpensive for the clients. We pick you up at your home and drop you off at your destination. If it's an in-town ride, it's $1.50.
Oh, that's a bargain.
It is. And then if you need a return trip from the grocery store, for example, it is another $1.50. We also do out-of-town trips as well, primarily medical trips. The fare schedule for out-of-town trips, it's very simple. It's the base fare of $1.50 plus 25 cents for each additional town. So if you go to the town next door, it's $1.75, 2 towns out, $2, with a maximum fare of $2.25.
You must be subsidized then.
We are actually public transportation. We're a subcontractor to the Worcester Regional Transit Authority. They subcontract with us to provide service to many of the towns that don't have any fixed route bus service.
I see. More of like a personalized, not a bus. I mean, they're going to go right to your house.
Correct. It's a
Yeah.
van. All of our vehicles
Yeah.
are 8-passenger vans. So we drive right to your house.
Yeah.
It's called curb to curb, a point to point service. We
Yeah.
can't go into a person's house, for example,
Yeah.
and assist them down the stairs.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do
Do you
that.
meet them at the curb?
Meet them at the curb
Yeah.
and then drop them off at the curb. But as I said, our drivers usually go above and beyond the call of duty with assisting with
sounds
grocery
like a bit
bags.
of a, I mean, I can see where compassion go a long, long way.
It really does, and it's
And I mean, who doesn't have a little compassion for, especially the elderly, if they need whatever.
absolutely. Especially
How
during,
would how would a person who wanted to get a ride, what are the ways that they can contact you?
we have an 800 number at the office. It's 800-321-0243. And all they do is call the office. We do ask them to call 1 day in advance of their trip, make the reservation, and we provide the service the next day. They can also call up 2, 3, 4 days in advance, a month in advance, whatever you want to do. A lot of people they'll have medical appointments. They literally book their appointment for a year out as a reminder to them, because
imagine.
we actually call the person the day before the trip to,
Yeah.
to remind them of the trip and give them their specific towns. So we literally have people booking a trip a year out in advance.
So not only are you the ride, but you're also the calendar reminder.
We are the alarm clock sometimes.
Oh,
Yep,
that is
absolutely.
something.
So it's
That's
very,
very
very simple to book a trip. As I said,
Yeah.
we just implemented some new technology a couple of years ago that allowed us to go to 1 day ahead scheduling.
Yeah.
The next obvious question is, are you ever going to do same-day scheduling? We are looking into that.
Yeah.
But being a small organization,
Yeah.
we have to balance out available resources, being people and
I
dollars to
betcha.
do that.
I mean, the elderly, just in my experience, tend to be very organized.
They absolutely are.
I mean,
And-
giving them 1 day leeway is probably more than enough than most of them really need.
Yeah, in years gone by, it used to be a minimum of 2 days leeway. Well, as I said, we implemented some new technology, so we got it down to 1 day.
That is
So
awesome. Just as simple as a phone call.
just to make a phone call, make
All
the
right.
reservation, and we pick you up the next day.
All right, that is great, Tim. Tim, this is a great service you're offering. I really appreciate that you come in, spend a few minutes here in Southbridge, and of course we're one of 21 communities that are benefiting from this service, which is a ride and maybe a little socialization for people 60 and over and people with a handicap.
And I would be remiss if I didn't offer information about one other service that we offer, which is called ReadyBus. That is work-related transportation. We actually implemented a pilot program some years ago in 4 towns, including Southbridge, so that if you live and work in Southbridge, for example, you can utilize our service regardless of age, regardless of disability status. So we actually provide that service in 4 towns, and it's a very popular service. Obviously, some of the people in town, they're working entry-level jobs. They may not have access to a private car, so they
Right.
utilize our service to get to and
Right.
from work. Same process, just give us a call. You can book a standing order if you have to be to work at 8 a.m. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You can just book a standing order, and we pick
Yeah.
you up every day. Again, no age restriction on that whatsoever.
Sounds like a way to, like you said, a way to enable people that otherwise couldn't go to their job, but now they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's important.
Yep. And
I
it's,
think
as I
that-
said, it's proven to be very popular. We started out very slowly. I was a little bit unsure whether it was going to
Yeah.
catch on, but it's certainly
Well, it's kind of a
caught on.
cousin of what you're doing now. I mean, it's similar, and I'm sure the skills you're using to run the first business probably translate very well.
It is, and,
this
and again, it's very low cost,
Yeah.
same fare structure as I mentioned earlier.
Couple of
Just
bucks.
one other thing, during COVID times, the Worcester Regional Transit Authority suspended fare collections.
Yeah.
So we have not actually collected any onboard fares since
Wow.
March of 2020. That is going to continue through the end of this calendar year, through December, at which point the Worcester Regional Transit Authority will make a decision whether to re-implement fares.
I
But
see.
even if they do, it's
I
a
see.
very reasonable fare structure that we have.
Wow, that's something. So the mission here is not to make money, obviously. It's to
No.
provide a needed service.
Correct.
All right, Tim. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
ya.
me.
Folks, thanks for watching Southbridge Community Television here. We're with Tim O'Day and SCM Elderbus and the ReadyBus services that he described. And if that sounds like something that you or someone you know could use, do feel free to call Tim and his friends there at SCM Elderbus, and they'll hook you up with a ride that you may need. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you again right here on Southbridge Community Television. Thank you.